Alrighty, hello everybody, BrosForLife here, back with another video. In today's video, we are going to be hopping right back into our 5-part series on The Walking Dead Season 2 podcast, going over all our thoughts, reviews, and opinions of that season with my good old pal, Mitchell, aka Virtual Party Center.
You put so much more effort into your intro than I did. I was just like, hey, we're starting episode 2. Let's go.
Well, let's be honest. I'm a lot more energetic than you, so. I try my best to make a happy, nice intro.
Oh, that's right. And your viewers appreciate it.
I just imagine you sitting there like, oh, I'm so embarrassed.
I'm so embarrassed, man. I wish I put that much hype and energy into my intros. Oh, my gosh. That's why my subscribers are dropping. Yours are skyrocketing.
Wow. Poor Mitch. Didn't you have like 2.5K one time?
Oh, I think so. I don't know. My subs are at 2445. So they're at 2,445, and they've been there for 2 months. The same. They haven't gained or dropped.
Oh my! I think it might have been a few streams ago. I gained like 50 subs. Well, okay, I guess it wasn't that much, but like 30.
No, yeah, you're doing really good in your streams and stuff.
Yeah, so. My streams are doing pretty good. My videos are. They're doing pretty good, but they could be better.
Yeah, I think when YouTube gets more of their features that are combating Twitch, I think it'll be a little bit better.
For videos or just
for streams and stuff, and yeah, it'll be a little easier.
Aren't they adding a specific raid thing as well?
I do not know.
Didn't you say they're like adding a thing where you can like?
Oh, a raid. Yeah, I think you said rate. I thought you said rate. Yeah, they're doing rating. So if you at the end of your stream, it'll like zoom and shoot all your viewers over to somebody else's.
That's so cool, dude. And clips, I'm so excited for those. Oh my gosh.
It's really nice. But let's get into the meat of the episode pretty quick. And are we going to start it off with what we kind of ended with, where we were in the individual scenarios, or do you want to start off after that?
Yeah, I was gonna say we start with that.
All right, go ahead. So you and Nick are in that little like meat locker type looking thing. What do you guys do?
Yeah, so pretty much the only thing that happens there is kind of Nick goes over how he's like, he thinks it's time to give up within life. He doesn't think he should be there anymore, pretty much. And we're sitting there trying to like contemplate what to do, because like we're a tiny little girl. We haven't dealt with that much depressing stuff. Like, yeah, it's depressing, but like you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Nick is like treating you like you've been through war before.
Yeah.
And no, you haven't. You don't know what that's like. And he's like, man, I'm giving up. It's my time to go.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing, dude?
And then pretty much he goes over, he actually goes a lot more in depth with his story. I can't remember how it went, but he goes in like a lot more depth of it. So if you want to hear what I mean by that, go check out my episode 2 video and season 2 episode 4, I guess, of The Walking Dead. So that's pretty much it with Nick, the Nick side of things. So how about Pete?
With Pete, essentially we go and get stuck in this little carnival like trailer, like you said, and they are just sitting in there.
Actually, I guess now that I'm looking at it, it actually looks like it's an actual truck, because there's a steering wheel and dashboard and stuff.
Oh, okay, so it's a truck. It's a truck bed and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're stuck in like the back of a truck, and it's not as dark as Nick's part. You know, Nick is saying it's hopeless and he's drunk, drinking.
Yeah.
And with me and Pete, we're sitting there in this truck, and Pete's like, unfortunately, it's the same type of scenario where he's saying it's the end for me. I've been bitten, and at that point in time, we have the vague memory, not the vague, but the vast memory of Lee getting bitten, and he cut off his arm, and so at the point in time, we think, okay, if he's gonna die either way. So that's the hard truth of the matter. There is, we just have to pretty much bear in mind that Pete's gonna die. And
remember, I think there was I can't think who it was, Carver, not Carver. You remember Matthew later in the story, and what's his name, Walter?
Matthew and Walter, yeah.
I think Walter, or it was someone, said that they had a friend that cut off their arm, and it did work. I think the reason it didn't work for Lee is because we waited too long.
We waited too long. Yep. I think that's what happened. And then freaking Reggie later in the game too. He got bit on his arm and it took his arm off.
Yeah, that's who it happened to. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah. Reggie got his arm cut off and that worked for him.
It worked for him just fine. So it goes off of time, but we didn't know that at the current point. So we thought it was all over. And that goes into what you thought about saving Pete. And you're like, man, he's gone. I can't do anything about that. But little did we know you can.
Yeah.
So yeah, with me and Pete in the back of the thing, he's saying, you know, my life's over. It's done. But we get him to get some zest in his step a little bit, and we're able to convince him.
Hold on. So it was weird. I was just watching your video on that just a little bit ago, where you're in the truck, and he was trying to cut it off with a hacksaw, a tiny little. I don't think that would have worked either way.
Oh yeah, I don't remember him trying to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tiny little hacksaw.
And okay, so he's trying to, and then do I talk him out of it? Were you watching that?
No, I think you told him that it wasn't gonna work, and then he's saying, we might as well try it.
Oh, and then he doesn't go through with it.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, what's the point? I'll bleed out like a stuck pig.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what we thought. You know, he's going to die either way, and at the moment, you know, we were like, it might as well not go through the pain of that because it's going to happen either way. But we didn't know that it doesn't. So maybe if we would have convinced him, maybe it would be different. Who knows? But then
the other thing is, there's one more thing I want to talk about in the scenario you're in. Yeah. Is that they end up trying to get some rest in that trip. I wouldn't trust that.
Oh yeah, I see.
She tries to take a nap, and they're like right next to each other, at least.
Oh, and then I would
say at least go to the front by the wheel. I would not sleep next to someone that's bitten.
Yeah, thinking about that, it makes sense now. It's like, hey, you're bitten, and we know you're bitten. You're going to turn eventually. Or you want to take a nap together? Nah.
Probably not.
So yes, your point is very much proven that we probably shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. You're a little kid. You don't know what to do.
And luckily, again, it didn't turn out that bad, but.
Right. So then after that, we get some sleep, and eventually me and Pete are like, we got to get back to the group, and he's feeling weak. He's in that state Lee was in where he's like dying slowly.
In that gun shop or pawn shop,
Yep. So then essentially I talk him up, and he gets up, and we go out the door, but he ends up falling and ends up getting pretty much stuck there. We don't see him get bitten again. I don't.
That's a harsh word. I just said he gets obliterated. Oh, that's
he gets obliterated. we don't see him getting obliterated, I don't think, but we hear him scream as we walk off, and that's it's kind of heart-wrenching a little bit. But
especially because I thought his character was really good, but
yes, I did too. So. I thought he was the caring grandfather type, and it's just unfortunate he had to go in the way he did. Then me as Clementine go back to the lodge, I think, and retrace our steps. And then what happens with you and Nick?
I think we do the same thing, except Nick stays here. I'm pretty sure. Nick stays there, and he tells us to go off. He doesn't die, obviously, but he sits there, and he tells me to go off on my own, which probably wasn't the smartest.
You're telling a 9-year-old, 13-year-old kid, whatever, to like go off on their own and get help? What?
Yeah.
Some of the choices these adults make in these games is something to be thought about. So you go back on your own, and we go back to the lodge, right?
Now I'm remembering it. Okay, I'm just now getting to the bar. He didn't choose to say that. How it worked was, you had a choice after he was in the it got to nighttime, same as like you, and that's where you ran off. But after this, it got to nighttime. We went out. We were gonna go in the night, but then Nick got trapped in between a few walkers, and you got the choice to run for it to the cabin or to go to Nick. And I chose to run for it. So I'm not sure what happens if you go to Nick, but.
So you just left him to die?
Well, he was screaming at me to run. He said he was gonna die either way, so. I
Gotcha.
trusted him.
So yeah, you left him to die, you scumbag. So then we run back to the lodge, and then at that point,
it's the next morning.
Yeah, I think it's the next morning, or you spend all day, but you get back, and then everyone sees you, and they're like, "Hey, where's Pete and Nick?" And then you say they're still out there. Pete got bit, so then.
But then remember, it was Rebecca was screaming. Rebecca was wasn't screaming about Pete and Nick.
No, she
was screaming about Luke and Alvin because they went out looking for them, remember?
Right, they went out looking for us, and so everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's scatter, we have to go and look for everybody. So then at that point, Carlos says, hey, stay here with Sarah and just play it off like nothing's happening. And this
then this is where Carver comes in.
We meet Carver for the first time.
Let's be honest, he's a jerk.
God,
we all know that.
Is something else. In terms of, okay, you know what? What was your first impression of Carver? Like throughout the entire scenario, because if you've watched the episode we're talking about, you know that he just kind of barges in and gives his own opinion on things. But what did you think as that whole scenario played out?
I don't really know. It was a very weird situation. I'll say that. And I think I was kind of like, I don't know if this guy's a friend of theirs or what, but I know I tried my best to keep him out of there, and then he just barged in.
Mm-hmm.
So like, because I did trust Carver, and he said, don't open the door for anyone. And did we open the door? I don't think we did. I think he just
opened the door himself.
We tried to lock it. I tried to lock it, and then as soon as we tried locking it,
And I was like, okay, now this is how is this gonna go? Because essentially you are now in a house with a grown man. You don't know his intentions. He has a gun. And
he looks scary.
And he looks freaking sketchy. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. He looks really, really scary.
He like, excuse me, and his voice is.
Yeah, I don't like his voice at all.
So
intimidating.
He comes in,
He's very intimidating.
Very intimidating. Yeah, he comes in and he starts grilling you, and he's like, who's been here? And then he starts pointing out the little things like, oh, this chessboard. There's, people been playing chess, and oh, look at all these dishes.
I knew a guy who wore this type of coat. His name was Carlos.
Yeah, and you're like, well, in my playthrough, I played dumb, and I was like, I don't know who these people are. And in your playthrough, did you do something?
However, he said, I did the same thing, except when he pointed out this shirt, Carlos's shirt, he was saying like, oh, I knew a guy that wore shirts like this, plaid shirts, checkered, and he was describing him. I think he said Mexican and a doctor.
Yep.
And I said, oh, what was his name? And then he said Carlos. I was like, okay, he obviously knows these people, but I don't think it's in good terms,
right? Because
of the way he was acting.
Right,
so,
he was acting super sketch.
And
like, he was like trying to find them for a specific reason, and he wasn't. If someone's looking for you in in a good-hearted way, they'd walk up and be like, "Hey, are they home?" And that you would present, you knew them and you want to just talk to them about something friendly. This guy was just like, "Hey, you live with anyone? Anyone's been here?"
Yeah.
And
right.
So then ultimately, he gave me this creepy vibe, and he's just some creepazoid coming in your house trying to find something, and then he finds the picture of Sarah.
Before that, Sarah was acting like an idiot was like, "Oh, hey, look, Luke's home." So she runs downstairs. I honestly, I think at that point when she said, "Hey, Luke's home," I don't think I pointed this out in my video, but in my head I was like, Sarah, let's just try and hide. And then she runs down the stairs. Let's go see Luke.
Yeah.
And then you know how that plays out.
God,
It's
Sarah gives me a headache, dude.
She does.
Oh, my head hurts now just thinking about all these situations that could have been avoided because of all that. But yes, I
Even the
understand.
picture took it.
Yes, the picture gets taken, and for some reason she drops it on the floor.
Even if you don't, like, I also watched all choices on this.
Yeah.
If you say, I don't want to take the picture, this is so silly or whatever, she ends up taking it of herself. And it looks stupid.
Really? Wait,
Yes.
did I do that in my
She takes the picture
playthrough?
of herself. I don't know if you did.
Don't
or not.
remember if I did that in my playthrough or not. Let me go ahead and just zoom through here quick. There it is. Okay.
Oh, I have yours unmuted. Oh.
Let's see. All right, let's zoom back out here quick and just take a look.
Oh yeah, she was messing with the gun too.
Yes, she was messing with the gun.
Oh my gosh! And then she pointed it right at Clementine's head.
Right in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Okay, and yes, in my playthrough, she did take a picture of herself. So that's why I was like,
Okay.
I vaguely remember that. But yeah, she did take a picture of herself because I didn't, you know how Carlos told us, don't do anything, just don't do anything. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to make it seem like we were messing around with stuff, and I don't know. I took his words very literally, and I was like, okay, let's just chill and talk, and then I didn't want to do anything else.
And then she pulls out a gun.
She pulls out a gun and points it at me. So,
Yeah.
fun stuff.
All
So
right.
yes,
So what
he
happened
finds the
after
picture,
that?
right?
Yeah.
And then at that moment, what was going through your head?
I remember what happened.
What?
I think it's that I can't remember what I was thinking there. I was kind of just like,
go ahead.
okay, this is bad. I started panicking, I think. I was like, okay, this is pretty scary. I don't like this guy. Can we just like get him out of this?
Yep,
And yeah, I'm pretty sure I just pretty much started panicking.
I stuck by my guns, and I was like, I don't know who that is. Must have been the person that lived here last. And then,
I did say that as well, but
Yeah.
I did start panicking.
Yep, and then he called my bluff, and he said, you don't even know who these people are. And then for some reason, I chose to like admit my guilt to him at the last moment. And you know, I can't remember exactly what I said. Let me just get the exact quote. But pretty much I was like, why, or what kind of damage can they do or whatever? Yeah, I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And then, oh, never mind. I just said, wait, who are you? In this like very dramatic, like voice that was not, how do I word this?
Friendly.
Well, I mean, it was like
I don't.
more than friendly, but
It was
I just,
like a stern tone.
no,
right?
it wasn't in a stern tone. It was, I played this hard-faced stone cold killer the entire time. Like, I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't know who they are. And then suddenly I'm just like, wait, who are you? Like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Remember Sarah shuts the door and he's like, I thought you said nobody's here. And I'm like,
God.
nobody is.
Sarah, oh my
Yeah.
God. Like, she's sneaking around, and then she doesn't even, because you know, if you've ever been trying to be sneaky, you like turn the knob on the door and you like slowly close it, then turn the
She
knob again.
slams it.
And just slams it. God.
You know, I would have hidden the shower curtains.
Right, exactly. Like, okay, well, imagine if you go to the shower curtains and then Carver's like, I need to go to the bathroom, and he goes in the bathroom.
My gosh.
That would be so sketch. But yes, Carver gave me the creeps, and then go into pretty much what happens as soon as he leaves.
After he leaves, I'm pretty sure, doesn't Sarah start panicking like, oh, I know that guy or something?
Yeah, I know who that was, or she says,
And
I think I
then,
know
like,
who that was.
Yeah, and then right after that, they all get home.
Right, which you would think if Carver was being like, you know, curious, he would like stick around to watch and see them all get home.
Yeah.
Which I think
Maybe
he does
he
in a way.
did.
I think he does, because then he confirms, that they're there, and then he follows everyone as they inevitably take off and go to the lodge.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
We didn't see any confirmation of him like exactly watching us there, but he did. Now that you mention it, yeah, he probably did stick around and see us all leave together. So
That's what I think.
because he
too.
did follow us, yeah.
Right, because otherwise there would be no reason that they would have gone the way they did, right? I mean, I'm talking about Carver's people. There would have been no reason they would have gone up to the lodge with us, because they wouldn't have known where we went.
Right.
So yes, along those lines, we ended up leaving the house, going to the lodge, and at that point, we're just kind of scavenging around, and the power thing, or no, not the power, but we want to get a better view of the landscape. So we have Clem climb up the windmill type thing, right?
Wait, hold on. I'm behind a little bit. We're not there yet, Mitch.
You're right. I'm completely missing.
We haven't got to the bridge.
The bridge. You're right. Okay, so scrap everything I just said, and let's. Okay, bros, go ahead. I'm gonna shut my mouth for a second.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, Mitch, you are way off, my friend. We leave in the morning, and then you skipped an entire episode of our series. So yeah, we're walking, and then right before we get to the bridge, Rebecca clears up why she's actually going, like what she's going through and why she's yelling at everything and why she's in a bad mood, which I was happy she cleared that up, because I didn't really. I feel like I probably should have known that when you are pregnant. I mean, I don't know this exactly, but
you get mood swings, yeah.
Yeah, you get mood swings, right? I didn't really know that until I kind of knew it, but not like exactly. So that cleared it up for me, and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
And I was happy that she cleared that up, because it's like, okay, now we're on good terms. And then right after that, we come up on Nick finally, right? You did in your story too, right?
I came up
Nick
on
in
Pete in mine.
Wasn't Pete dead?
Pete. Let me think here.
You came up on Nick in the.
Wait a second.
Right?
I'm so confused. Hold on. Let's go over here. So let's go back into my story and take a look. So I'm gonna go to the next episode, and for me, that I'm thinking as the group. Yeah, I'm with Rebecca walking, and I come up on Pete. Yeah, Pete is in the trailer. That's what happened. So I was with Nick already. So Nick was with us, and that's what one of our changes in our stories. You came up on Nick. We came up on Pete in my story.
Okay.
Let's see. Yep.
Oh.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to go and change my screen quick. So,
you came up on Pete's dead corpse, or?
Yes, in a way. All right, let me go here and open this up. Yeah, so essentially, we find the trailer that Pete was in, and everyone's kind of looking around and seeing what's going on, and we see a blood trail that leads behind the rocks, and then we see Pete.
Oh, now I remember that.
And he's obviously.
How did you guys find Nick though? Did you guys find Nick like after while Carlos was?
I think I went with Pete originally, and I think Nick just ran back to the lodge. So then he went out looking for Pete and me with the rest of the group, I think, or he just stayed back. I don't know. I can't remember that. But then, we find Pete. His guts are ripped open, but he does have a gunshot in his head. Like somebody actually shot him. And then we learned to find out that was actually Carver as well. But so that's pretty much. It was? Yeah, we find out that Carver came along and killed all the walkers, or no, not. Maybe it wasn't. I actually don't know. That if that's true or not.
Didn't Pete kill himself?
I think maybe it was Pete. Yeah, I think I'm losing my train of thought. I think Pete ended up killing himself because he couldn't make it out of there alive, and I think he shot himself. Although he doesn't have a gun in his hands here, so maybe someone, a Range Rover came by and took his gun or something. I don't know.
Okay. And then remember also, Nick was drunk during that.
Nick was drunk on your end or my end?
Was he not drunk during yours?
I don't think so. No, I think Nick went back to the lodge, and I'm pretty sure he just went with everybody looking for Pete.
Interesting. Yeah, in mine we came up on Pete. What's his name? Nick, and he was in that cellar thing.
Still drunk?
And yeah, he was all drunk with a ton of beer jars all over the place. So yeah, and then he was talking all drunk and stuff, and then everyone was screaming at him like, "Oh my gosh, you can't!
How could you do this? You left him to die!"
Yeah. So it was weird.
Yep. In this situation, you got to meet Nick again. We found Pete dead, but then ultimately we just continued onto the bridge, which is where. Go ahead. Tell.
Some stuff goes down here.
So I am so mad at Nick.
Yeah.
I'm so mad at Nick. Okay, so essentially we get to the bridge. And yeah, go ahead and get to wherever you need to.
Yeah,
in
we
your video.
we're talking about who should go across the bridge with
Yep.
Luke, and Carlos is saying Clementine shouldn't go, even though I'm like, no, I want to do this. I can do it. So Carlos eventually agrees, and then Nick also wants to come, and we're all screaming. I think the only one screaming at him actually was me and Luke.
Yeah, Luke.
And we were like, no, you cannot come. You're drunk, man. You can't do this. Please, just trust us here. And then he's like, all right, fine. And then later on, you know how that goes down. But
yeah, in mine, he wasn't even drunk. I just didn't trust him because he just made so many weird, bad decisions, and I just didn't trust him at that point. Just because, I don't know. Part of me, obviously I should have given him a second chance. Maybe it would have gone differently. But obviously...
No, I don't think you were able to actually bring Nick across the bridge at all. Either that... Actually, I think you could have, but he was really slow, I believe.
Oh, like
and
walking
he just
slowly?
got there really... Yeah.
Because of Pete? Or not Pete?
I think that made sense. Yeah, I think that's how it went. Because if you remember, Nick was following us the entire time, but remember he was
sludging along
10 feet behind everyone else.
Yep. Okay, I think that's right. Yeah,
that makes sense. So even if you said, all right, fine, you can come, I'm pretty sure
he just takes his dear time.
And then also he came anyway if you told him no, but he was
God,
but as you said, taking his time.
Yes.
But yeah, one thing I want to address here as well is right as we get to the bridge, there's two walkers. There's a big one and a small one. And me and Luke are like, all right, let's take them. And then he says, all right, you get the small one. I'll get the big one. And then me being me, bad but Clementine, I'm like, all right, I'll take the big one.
But yep, I got the big one. Don't worry, Luke, I got him. I'm gonna show you how big of a bully I can be.
Oh man, yeah, that was funny. And then we get to the bridge, and yeah, Clementine can't get her hammer out of that guy's head, which
becomes a learning lesson later in the series with Jane, where she said that thing's gonna get stuck in a lot of the people you do, so you better find something that can get out quickly. It ends up saving her butt a couple times, but we eventually get across the bridge, or not across, but we get to the middle.
I'm just weirded out because before we started crossing the bridge, there was no walkers on it, I don't think.
I didn't see any walkers.
And then we got there, and 4 walkers from both directions. Yeah, it was like I have no clue. It was weird.
So they ended up getting attacked,
Luke falls in that little pit,
Yep, Luke falls, and we have to inevitably save him by going down there, getting him that pipe or whatever you gave him.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but.
And then ultimately.
And then Clementine wasn't she? She was on the edge of the bridge, and she was trying to. That was so scary.
Hanging on for dear life on the edge?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it right now. She's on the edge of the bridge, hanging off of it. So that's... Man, imagine doing that at that age.
Yep. I personally, that would have been a pretty cool story to tell my children when I was older. Be like, hey, I survived hanging off the side of a bridge Well, a zombie was clangering at my feet, and then I saved my friend. So, you know, you know how your parents are like, let's just say your grandparents are like, oh man, going to school for me, I like walked through the snowstorms and I walked through all these giant journeys and adventures and crossed the lands.
I hung off a bridge.
I hung off a bridge.
Oh man.
So,
yeah, and then Matthew comes along.
Matthew, which at first we don't know what he is or who he is or what he's like. And then we find out.
He was really funny though.
He's pretty funny.
Are you guys buttholes?
You guys buttholes? I don't like buttholes.
I'm not a butthole. And then Luke is like, you calling me a butthole?
Yeah, Matthew turned out to be a really nice guy, and
I liked him a lot. I think I would have liked him a lot in that story if he lasted longer. But then Nick came over here. We told him not to shoot, and then
literally, I need to like just vent because Nick he came up out of nowhere, and then we legitimately say, don't shoot. He's friendly. Don't shoot, over and over. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly, bang, and then Matthew inevitably dies. And it's like,
right,
what the heck? And I was so mad because it was completely something that could have been avoided if Nick would have just listened to us. And he had no reason not to listen to us because we are the ones that just talked to this guy. And Nick just decided to shoot anyway. And it made me so
angry. I don't
angry.
even think Matthew asked. Matthew didn't even point his gun, I don't think. He just said,
Matthew
oh, well,
did.
hey, who's that behind? Oh, he did, okay.
Yeah, but only after Nick raised his gun at him.
Oh.
Yeah. Nick came up and then was like, he pointed his gun right at him without asking any questions. And then Matthew was like, what's this? And he raised his gun up again.
Yeah. Then we legit scream at Nick to not shoot. And then Matthew dies.
And I am just so pissed off.
Oh,
Matthew wanted to help us. He wanted to, connect us with some food.
He had a lot of food there too.
Yeah, he's like, here, take some food. I got plenty. And it's like, are you kidding? This guy's so nice. And then Nick comes along and just does that for no good reason. It's so bad. So, but again, it is what it is. Nick decided to, again, prove why he, caused problems in the group and didn't listen to anybody. We get to the end of the bridge, and what do we find?
We find that there's food in the crate. So.
Food in the crate, and we also find the little girl on the can that looks just like Clementine with the little pigtails.
Exactly.
That Alvin points out.
And she gives him that bad look. She's like, hey.
Mm-hmm. So at this point,
not very nice.
We don't know what's going to happen.
Everyone's pretty mad at Nick, though. Right. Everyone's like pretty mad.
Did you, by chance, steal when you were looking for the supplies?
The watch?
Did you steal the watch or did you not?
No, you did, right?
I did. I accidentally took the watch, and I didn't.
But then apparently it turned out good in the end.
It turned out great because it turned out to be Pete's watch, and I gave it to Nick. So I thought that was a really cool little circle of life right there that came around.
I thought that was cool too, but then when he mentioned it, I was like, oh my gosh, that was the watch I could have stole.
Mm-hmm. And what were you saying before?
Hang on, I was saying how I did not like it all the way they presented that little story, because like they give you the option to steal, which most of the time you're not going to want to steal something like that, especially something that is usually useless in that kind of position. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like that. And then it ended up turning out good, which I liked, but at the same time, I just didn't like how that was presented.
Yeah, it's like they give you this thing like, oh, steal watch or take watch, but then you're like, no, why would I steal this? And then if they caught that on you, they'd be like, hey, you're a little thief, we're gonna kick you out of our group. But then ultimately it turns out to be a good thing in the end. Like,
I don't know about that.
It's definitely a weird decision. So I get what you're saying. I'm glad that I accidentally grabbed it, but then again, I know why people would not at the same time.
Yeah.
So we get to the lodge, or not the lodge.
And I like that little, after we got off the bridge, I like that little scene because it gave Clementine and Alvin a little bit of a bonding experience, which I
Right.
thought was pretty nice.
Yep, a little
Because
bit.
I like Alvin a lot as well.
Yes, a little bit of a chit chat with Alvin, and they kind of talked. It wasn't like a super in-depth emotional thing. It was like a little friendly conversation, and that was really nice. Then they start walking up to the lodge, and this is where I jumped too early, which I didn't think about.
Yeah.
We get up there, and then I think Luke is like saying, hey, get a better look of the surroundings. So we climb up to the windmill type thing and take a look around, and in that moment we hear argument.
See lights.
And
we see lights in the woods.
We see lights in the woods.
And that turns out to be Carver, right? I think.
Yes, that turns out to be Carver coming our way. But we hear arguing coming from our left side. And go ahead and tell everyone what that turned out to be.
Now, I'm kind of confused, though, because, well, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's just kind of weird how we went up upon the lodge, and it makes sense that it was all boarded up, but we kind of we started looking in the window. It was kind of weird.
In a way, yeah. Think about it, though. Like, it's the apocalypse.
That makes
and
sense.
You want to know if anyone's there.
Yeah.
But,
so yeah, we do all that, and then we go up to the zip. What is that thing?
It's a wind turbine, I think, right? Or the ski lift. Ski lift, that's what it is.
Ski lift. Yeah, ski lift. Yeah. So we go up there, see if we can see anything. Not much. Then we turn around, and there's arguing. Also, before that, during that thing when we're climbing up, it was a nice little friendly, funny little conversation with Luke. He's like, "You just told me not to look. Sorry, I'm just trying to help."
God, I love Luke so much.
Just look at me. Just look at me, Clementine. You just told me not to look down.
Yep. So then we hear arguing, and then we zoom on down, and we go through the crowd, and it turns out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now when you were hearing the voice, did you pick that up instantly?
No,
or
I didn't pick it up. I thought I was paying attention to the arguing itself, and I was kind of trying to dissolve the situation and turn everything down, because I saw they had guns, or at least I thought I did. So I was like, oh crap, we gotta get in there and also show that there's a kid in the group, so maybe they would be not as harsh.
But when we were kind of looking through, I kind of squinted, and I thought I recognized that man even between everyone else.
Was it the hat?
Yeah. And you could kind of see his beard in the coat he was wearing. I was like, that looks kind of familiar. And then we got to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Kenny. Kenny actually came back, made it out of that mob.
I don't know how he did it.
I don't know.
I legit don't know. In going back, I watched a couple of times. I was like, there's no way that I could have feasibly seen he made it out of there.
Yeah, I thought he died, honestly.
Yeah, Ben died. He locked Lee in or out of the little alleyway, and there was walkers coming from both ends, I believe. So there's literally no way that I know he could have got out of there. And I believe he tries to explain it, or you ask him how he got out, and he's like, it's more of a story than I want to tell or something. So we never really learn how he gets out of there.
I think he kind of I don't remember, but I know the first thing I did when we saw him, the first thing I did, they had 4 options, a few things that was oh, I thought you were dead, and then 2 others or something. And then there was another one, hug Kenny.
Yep.
And I had to do it. I had to.
Immediately,
yeah.
I was like, no way, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to run up, give him a little bear hug.
Yeah, exactly. And it felt so good. My heart felt so warm. It was so great.
Mm-hmm. And then what's the part? You pretty much, we go in after that because they start to trust us, right? And is this the point where they make dinner, or is that a little bit later?
Yes, this is actually not yet. It's 8 minutes more.
8 minutes more? Oh, okay. Oh, you're actually watching the video. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I am.
What happens right now?
Right now we're just kind of walking in and arguing about if you should leave your weapons at the side or whatnot.
Oh yeah, and they Walter asks, or not Walter, Kenny says, "Can you vouch for these people, Clem?" And what do you end up saying?
I said they're cool.
I said I can't vouch for everyone because I was so pissed at Nick for what he just did to Matthew.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's definitely a good point.
I said, nope, I can't vouch for everybody. There's no way I'm going to say Nick is cool because I know he's just shooting random people. And even though we told him to stop, he didn't stop and he shot somebody. So I said, I can't do it.
Well, the one thing that, cause I don't know. I think I filmed these two on different days. So it was different. And I didn't completely forget about, Nick shooting that Matthew guy because I don't know how you can forget about something that bad.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So I didn't completely forget about it, but it was like kind of at the back of my mind at the time, so I didn't really think about that. But yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. I mean, it's just something that you're just like, hey, I can vouch for him because you want to maintain friendly relationships, right?
Right.
So I get you. I totally get you. I don't remember what happens at this point, so you're gonna have to kind of lead us through this.
That's where we sit on the couch, catch up with Kenny a little bit, and I think he did tell us a little bit about how he got out there, but I can't remember how.
Yeah, it's a blank space for me. All I remember is we going in and having dinner for some reason. I can't remember any in between. Oh, I remember we end up with Matthew. He's making baked beans, right?
Yeah,
I remember that.
But before that, I remember Clementine and I was about to say Kasha. Man, I miss Kasha.
Jeez. Kenny?
But yeah, Clementine and Kenny were talking about Lee.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kenny's like, he was a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah. And after that, that's when Clementine asked or something, how did you make it out of there? I thought you were dead. And then he said, what happened to Lee? And I was like, oh, everything went wrong after you got out of there, and it was chaos.
Gotcha. He didn't go into detail. He just kind of said it was just chaos and gotcha. Okay. So then after
that, I don't know if did we actually go? No, okay. After we talk with Kenny for a little bit, that's when we make beans.
Make beans with Walter.
Yep. Cooking up some nice baked beans.
And that is when we first get introduced to the
Matthew
theory. He's like, you'll love Matthew. And we didn't know at the time that his name was Matthew, right?
Nope.
So he was like, yeah, you'll love Matthew. He's a great guy. He likes exploring and doing all these things. He loves being around kids. And we're just like, cool. All right, sweet. And then shortly after that, we kind of realized.
Yeah. Oh. See, it was funny because I thought I had this amazing theory before it even got to that point. And then I watched your video you did too. I was like, oh, I thought it was special.
Oh, yeah, we kind of caught on at the same time. But then again, it's good that we both got on because we have a good sense of, okay, these characters are who they are. And yeah, we did a good job. So then after we finish making beans with Walter,
oh my gosh, this next thing. No, this next video I titled was I made all the wrong choices, and oh my gosh, it's so right.
Don't you just love this episode? Oh, isn't this a great episode? Right?
Man, I mean, your choices weren't as bad as mine, so.
Let's go over it, bros. So, the first choice that we
After that, after we make beans with Walter, he's still cooking up some, isn't it like peaches and cream, I think, right?
I don't remember. I know.
It was peaches and something.
Yeah,
I think it was peaches and cream and beans.
Peaches and beans,
and then
I don't know.
After he does the beans with Clementine, we go and bond with, I keep trying to say Katja. That's not her name.
Is it
what
Rebecca
is her name?
And
No, it's Kenny's girlfriend. What is her name?
Sarita.
Sarita, there we go.
Rita.
Yeah, Sarita and Sarah.
Yep.
To
Oh, the
get
tree
the
thing, the
Christmas
stupid
star.
Christmas
Yeah.
tree. the
I'm
star
an
and the
idiot.
angel, right?
And then you know what was so dumb of me? When I went up there,
Yeah.
that's when so I guess we're not fully there yet. This is when we talk with Rebecca a little bit about who the baby is, like, could be.
Oh yeah.
Actually.
Mhm.
And it's like, you know.
Yep.
We yeah.
I know.
And then after that, oh, right after we get upstairs, this is where we start talking about Carver and if he's following us or not. And everyone's like, oh, we need to leave in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we talk with Rebecca a little bit about her baby. And then I think she's like, I'm not going to be able to raise a child on this world. And I'm pretty sure I said something like, well, I'm still here.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a good point. You know, you said I'm here. And well, then again, she also was however old when it started. So it'll be a little bit easier on her because she was already her age. But raising a newborn baby would probably be a little bit more difficult. But then again, think about at the end of the game where we have a little baby, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And then, so when we're picking out the Christmas thing, it was really weird because I didn't even see. The only thing I saw there was a star.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm trying to find the point where it was. I'm trying to find it. Was it after we ate?
You don't even see the angel? I think it's before we ate. I don't think it was that. I think eating was the thing that... I don't know. I cannot remember. I legit don't remember this part of the game for some reason. I remember us eating and us having to decide.
No, it was definitely before we ate, but I can't think of when.
I can't think of it.
I can't find the timestamp either, so.
All right, whatever.
Who knows?
Who knows? You had to choose between a star and an angel, and
star,
it didn't
angel,
really
and
have
a
much
weird...
of an impact. It was just...
also, wasn't there a weird, like, Christmas bulb? A red Christmas bulb that you could have put on top?
I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, after that, that's when we ate. I chose to sit with Kenny because I wanted to catch up with him a little bit.
Yes.
But Luke was like, oh, come sit up. Yeah, I don't really get that.
Upset. He was like, dummy for sitting with Kenny. That's one of the choices at the end. It says, who did you sit with at dinner? And it says 64.2% of players sat with Kenny because obviously you just met your old friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you not going to go sit with him? And then Luke is like all butthurt about it. Like, oh, you're going to sit with him? But what about me? And like, it was annoying.
Yeah.
This is a stupid ego thing. I don't know.
And then while we're eating, Nick and Luke go and sit over there, which I'm fine with. I thought that was fine. And then Nick started a big argument.
He did, and it was annoying. Like, what did he say? I think Kenny called him Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, he was talking about how Kenny wanted to go up and to a different place. I can't remember where it was.
Oh,
I think he was talking
saying,
about Wellington, right?
Yeah, Kenny's like, or somebody was saying we need to stay. Someone was saying we need to go, and then they were arguing about that.
Oh yeah. That's where it started, and then after that, they kind of got over that. Kenny mentioned something about all the snow in Wellington.
Yep.
And then Luke was, or not Luke. Nick was like, "That's a dumb idea."
Right.
And then, what's up with you, Vanilla Ice? Man, that was a great saying.
Mm-hmm. So then they started off their little relationship, not as friendly as we would have liked, obviously. And then after they got done eating,
that's when that thing comes into play, Mitch.
Let me I'm gonna zoom in here and get a better understanding of what's going on.
The knife, remember?
Okay, yep. So they're eating, having a good time.
I'm trying to get past this eating scene. It's a long scene.
Let's go here. Let's go. There I am. Okay, got it. So after we're done eating, let me turn down my quality.
Okay, so
load this up.
We go and talk to Luke, I think. Did he? No, he didn't show us the picture yet.
Oh no, so we are outside.
We went to talk with Walter.
Yep, Walter. We're outside. We're just kind of walking around.
Walter wanted to get us out of that fight that was going on.
Yep, and then we see outside, or first off, we are talking about, Matthew and
how he loves reading and stuff.
Yep, and then as we're talking, we're walking around and we ultimately see Kenny walk up, right?
Yep.
Then out of nowhere, go ahead and tell him what happens.
I can't. That's where Bonnie comes out.
Right.
But I'm trying to think. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. Kenny walks up and he's like, hey, what you two talking about? Oh, yep. I don't know. Politics.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Like, politics to a little kid? What?
Yeah.
Made no sense to me. Literally no sense.
And then we go around the side, and then what do you know? It's Bonnie from 400 Days peeking into our little lodge. Two-timing
Bonnie up in our lodge.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, it's Bonnie. Okay. And as I watched your playthrough, and like, you didn't trust her. You didn't trust her at all.
No, I didn't.
You didn't give her any budge. You just stayed stone cold face. You're like, arms crossed.
Even though we played as her.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I think
weird.
that's part of the thing that threw me off. Yeah. That we played as her and we got to know her a little bit. I think that's what kind of got me to like, I don't know if we can trust her because of that. It might be trying to throw us off or something.
I see.
Also, that's also what Kenny was saying. So I wanted to agree with Kenny.
Oh, that we can't trust her?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I kind of played the middleman.
Walter was all friendly and gave her a giant box of supplies. Yeah. And then she just goes and betrays us, which was just...
I don't...
And then also the way she was talking to us, she was like, hey, little girl, how old are you? That kind of creeped me out. I was like, okay, you can stay away from me.
Yeah, I would have talked like, I walked up, I wouldn't have been like, hey, little girl, what's your name? How old are you? I would have been like, hey, how do you like living here? I would have been like this normal conversation, not this like stupid little kid talk.
She was definitely trying to spy on us, which we figured that out later on. And I kind of called that not trusting her.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when we go back inside and Luke shows us the picture. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go. I called it, but also, oh no, that's not good.
Yeah.
It was kind of mixed emotions right there.
Oh, definitely a situation you don't want to be in because you know the truth, but do you tell the truth to the person that is giving you a home to live in right now? And ultimately, I decided, yes, I would like to tell the truth because I think the truth is the best option, but...
I told Nick... Luke was telling me not to tell Nick. We don't want to stir things up. And then I showed Nick the photo. And he started freaking out, and I was like, Nick, okay, now I regret doing this. I didn't want you to freak out. I just wanted to calmly let you know. So I now regret that. However, this is where I made the wrong choices. I said, there was an option. You should tell Walter, don't say anything, or either way is risky. I kind of went in the middle, and I was saying, I don't think either way is the best.
Okay.
But then eventually I went to go see the knife and then it was gone.
Yep.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
It was gone. So we went outside and we see him looking at it and I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
This is not good.
He's like spinning it in his fingers, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh crap. And then suddenly that's the moment the music came on, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, and oh no.
Yeah, it was not the best. And then I lied to him.
Yeah, I straight up told him the truth. I told him straight up truth. I thought that was the best. You lied to him, and this is when our stories started to turn different.
Yeah, our story turned a lot.
Yep, we went completely different paths at this point, because I told him the truth, and then Nick ultimately came out and told him...
I'm like in real life, I'm usually a very, very truthful person and I usually don't lie. But in this situation, I feel like in a zombie apocalypse, it's a lot different, even though we've learned, even not even just this season, like even in season 1, there was a few times where telling the truth was the best option.
Yep.
But apparently I'm just not getting that at all.
Who
I'm not
knows?
getting the memo whatsoever. I don't know why, but from now on, I'm telling the truth in this game.
Yeah.
It goes too bad when you lie. So it's like,
Well, okay,
it's too hard.
there's the thing. If you lie to like an enemy, that's a little different. If you lie to someone that's on your
different.
side, maybe it'll come out differently. Because I seriously thought Walter was someone that I could trust. Just to the vibe he gave off to me, he seemed like someone that was nice, someone that was trustworthy.
That's what I thought at first, but the reason I lied to him is because the way he was fiddling with the knife, I thought he was about to kill Nick. So I played dumb because I was like, oh no, this guy obviously knows there's something going on with one of the people in our crew.
Yep.
And he most likely knows about that it's Nick, because I'm pretty sure while they were eating, Nick mentioned something.
Yep.
Correct? Yep. So I thought Walter was like, I thought he was pretty friendly and a nice guy. But then when he was fiddling with that knife, I was like, okay, I don't know if I can trust him. I think he might kill Nick.
He might kill
So
Nick.
that's why I lied, and I do regret it. So.
Yep. So
But
we end
yeah,
up telling Nick what's going on, and we get to the part where suddenly the generator for the wind turbine starts blowing up.
Yep.
And at this point, I was like, "Oh crap! This is really bad because that noise is drawing
that
all the walkers."
Yeah. That noise was so loud.
It was so loud.
It was
and
insanely loud.
For you, it was even more loud because your game is bugged with the audio.
Yeah.
So mine wasn't nearly that bad, but
I think it's only season 2.
yes, only season 2 is bugged.
Okay.
So luckily the other seasons are okay. Hopefully, at least that's what I only read.
That's what
So when
we go to try and fix the wind turbine, and then everyone's like, I don't know how to do it. And then Clem just comes out, and I'm like, what?
I don't know how to fix it. Clem,
this.
go do it, Clem. And I'm like, what? You're tasking a 10-year-old girl to go?
Yeah, I did not understand that at all. And then she does it like it's the easiest thing in the world, and I'm like, what?
Makes no sense to me.
That's it?
That's it? You're just gonna attach some wires, plug something in? Okay.
No, all she did was grab the key. All she did was grab the key,
insert it,
plug it in, and turn it. That's all. I was like, what?
All these adults, I'm so dumb, I don't know how to do it. Okay, whatever. And then
that makes no sense to me.
The scary part is all the walkers appear, and then it starts to turn into kind of a bloodbath where.
So that's where we get all the walkers, and then this is where my story turns.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm over here with all the walkers trying to get me. Carlos ends up getting the last guy, and then Nick is on one. He ran out of ammo, I'm pretty sure, or something. And then this is where, in my situation, because I lied, Walter didn't take that very greatly, and he ended up he didn't do anything and let Nick die.
Yep.
He drew his gun. He drew his gun like he was going to help, and then ultimately he let Nick die.
Yep, he didn't pull the trigger and save him. In my story, because I told the truth, he ends up shooting the walker that's attacking Nick, and Nick is saved. So this is a parting of our story, because in Bros' story, Nick is dead. In my story, he is continuing to live. So this matters a little bit into our story, which is really cool. But then again, it also, we have the same ending too, which is, it shows that it doesn't mean as much, but it also, you know what I mean, right?
Wait, what do you mean it has the same ending?
Me and you have the same ending.
Like of the whole season?
Yeah, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have the same ending the whole season. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, quote unquote, but in the moment, it definitely does.
And just like, even I think it was episode 3 where they're locked in the prison. That whole episode matters a lot if those two people survive.
Yes, and so it adjusts the story a bit as well. It makes a giant fork in the road where our stories pivot quite significantly for at least 2 or 3 episodes, where in-game episodes, not video episodes, in-game episodes.
Yeah, in-game, yeah.
So that's really cool. And then
this is where Carver and his crew come out with Bonnie as well, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Bonnie just betrayed us. Yep, 3-timing Bonnie.
Yeah, she was 2-timing Bonnie, now she's 3-timing because she does too.
And then this is just so sad because this is where Carlos starts to get beaten up and
tortured a little bit.
Yeah.
So what happened in yours? Did Carver?
What?
What did Carver do to Carlos in your playthrough?
He punched him in the face, twisted his fingers, and that's about it.
I can't remember if he twisted his fingers in mine. I remember watching yours, and I remember the twisted fingers part. I think he might have. I'm
pretty sure that just happened either way, but maybe not.
Okay. So they're inside, and Carlos is getting tortured. And then it comes out to the point of, do you let Carver
Do you have your
know?
choices up right now?
Yeah, I have my video.
Okay, this is where we do go up to Alvin. Both of us do, because that's the option.
Yep.
And then right here, this is where you choose a big part of the, not main story, but like this is where, do you want to go outside, or do you show yourself to Carver?
Right.
Because he knows there's more of you.
Yep. I personally gave up.
I don't remember. You did give up?
Yep,
okay.
I gave up.
Now, I think if I would have given up, if I did give up, I don't think Alvin would have died.
Oh, that's right. You went out for Kenny, didn't you?
Yeah, I was with Kenny, and we were talking, and I was like, okay,
crap.
Kenny, I think it looks like you have a shot on Carver, but me being the smart person I am, I thought, oh yeah, we can kill him right now as soon as we see him. First shot, first dub. I don't know what was going on in my mind, but I thought we could kill him just like that. Clearly that wasn't the case.
Right.
And then that's how Alvin ended up dying. So we did either way, Kenny shoots at least 1 round and kills one of the guys, which isn't that important at all.
Right.
But then that's when Carver is like, all right, I'm gonna kill Walter. This is for our man.
God, that sucked.
Yeah, Walter died ultimately either way.
Yep.
And then after that, you had the choice to shoot again at someone, which I don't understand. I don't remember how that worked.
Like
if you stayed
take
inside,
a second
do you remember?
shot or whatever, right?
Yeah,
if you stayed inside, you didn't get a second shot, or Kenny gave himself up. Or no, wait, I remember what happened. So if the first shot came, he killed Walter, and then if you stayed inside like I did, Carver's like, come on out, or else, blah, blah, blah. And then it gives you a chance to say something, and I said, Kenny, stop. And then Carver realizes, oh, they know each other.
Yeah.
And Kenny, or Carver grabs me.
It's, isn't it what happens is, pretty much, I think he grabs Alvin. If you're inside, he grabs Alvin either way.
He does, yep.
It's either way he grabs Alvin.
Yep, he grabs Alvin.
But if you're inside, you can say, oh, no, I don't want Alvin to die. And you can say, take me instead or something.
No, it's a little bit indirect. So it's that way. But instead of you offering yourself up, you say like, Kenny, stop, or don't shoot. And then Carver realizes, oh my God, this girl knows the guy outside. And Carver grabs you and puts a gun to your head and says, you better come out now or I'm going to kill the girl. And
but isn't there another option that you're able to give yourself up? I think there was.
I don't know. I didn't take that choice. I'm scrolling through my video right now.
Shoot. Yeah.
Let's go here. And okay, so he has him right here. I'm on Alvin's thing. I'm taking a look. And okay, let's see. It says choices are
you can run up.
The choices are protect Alvin, Kenny, Luke, don't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Or Carver, please don't do this. So when you go to protect Alvin,
you can
that's
say, yeah, that's where you go in instead of Alvin.
Gotcha. I did the
That's
Kenny, Luke,
probably
don't
what
shoot.
I would have done.
Gotcha. Yeah. When it said protect Alvin, in my mind, I was like, I don't see any possible way a 10-year-old girl go protect him. So then that's why I just used my voice and I said, Kenny, Luke, don't shoot. That's what my personal thing was.
So yeah, I kept telling what's his name? I kept telling Kenny to shoot, which I'm so mad I did that because Alvin died too.
Yeah, luckily I didn't go through that. I know, Alvin stayed in my playthrough for quite a while. Mm-hmm. And in your playthrough,
except in episode 3, he was all beaten up in that chair in the corner of his office. Remember?
Yep, I remember that. Yep. And then he also gets he saves me in a way too when we go and do the radio stuff later on too.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big turning point.
Man. So yeah, overall, I think that's how the episode ends. He gathers up all the survivors and he ties them up, and that's where we go off to his camp.
We go off to his camp, and then we get introduced to our home for the next couple episodes there.
Yeah.
And let's quickly go over our choices and see how much was compared here. So, do you have yours up now?
Yep,
perfect.
I do.
All right, so when it says friendship took blame for Sarah's photo, did you take blame for it or did you not?
I blame someone else.
Does I blame someone else too? And, did you take the picture, right?
What do you mean? Yes, I did take the picture. Blame someone else because Carlos said don't do anything, and I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna get mad if I admit so.
Oh.
And then Sarah defended me, and he believed, so it worked out.
And there you go. And then sitting with at dinner, obviously, me went with Kenny. I mean,
Exactly.
Here's the thing: 64.2% of players sat with Kenny. I don't know why 36% didn't.
Yeah, I guess 30. Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want to sit with? And how would Kenny react? Think about that too. How would he?
But remember, some people may not even play at season 1 for whatever reason. A lot of people just jump into, like, in a lot of different games, they just skip past part of the story.
Gotcha.
So that could have been part of it. However, I think some of it could have been just because.
Right.
Because Kenny did have his moments in season 1.
Yep.
So I think it's probably a mixture of some people just started playing in season 2, and some people just preferred Luke.
Gotcha. And then how do you think he would have reacted if you would have went and sat with Luke instead?
I think I did watch a video on this as well, but I think Kenny was like, he was really sad at the end, I believe.
Really?
Like, after you went and decided to sit with Luke, I'm pretty sure that's when he didn't start crying, but he had a really big frown on his face, and he was like, man.
It makes sense. You guys go through so much together, and then you just decide to not sit with him after reuniting. That's like a little kick in the gut there.
Exactly. That hurt. That would hurt. But then Kenny does go eventually and sit over by them. But yeah, in the end, I just think sitting with Kenny is the better decision.
Me as well. Then we also know honesty.
We went over this one, and yeah.
And it leads to a lot of future decisions being different between us as well.
Yeah, that one is probably one of the biggest decisions. One of the bigger choices in this episode.
It is split down the middle. It is 56%. So
well, yeah.
Okay, 56% truth, and then it's 44% lied, right?
So it's pretty split, yeah.
Yeah, it's about 50%, and that would alter the game.
I don't understand the next one.
Nick's fate. You and 56.3% of players convinced Walter to forgive Nick. Oh, I think.
Oh, never mind. I get it now.
Wait a second.
That was.
Yeah, you're right.
That was just if you told the truth then.
Oh, okay. So then that means
That's weird. Then you don't really get to choose both of them. If you tell the truth, then
yeah.
you let Walter. If you lie, you let Walter make up his mind.
Take a look at the bars. See how it says 56% of players, and then
it's
right
pretty
below
much
it,
the same.
It's 44 or 56. It's the same numbers. So that makes sense there. And then the last one chose to go find Kenny.
Left to find Kenny. That's what I did, and you did the opposite.
I did the other one. I chose to not. I chose to help and stay with Carlos.
The reason I went to go find Kenny is because I trusted Kenny more than Alvin and Rebecca. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, say again. Sorry, I was drinking some water.
The reason I left to find Kenny is because I trusted Kenny more than Rebecca and Alvin.
Oh, yeah. So that makes total sense. You've been with Kenny the whole season 1, and you're back with him now.
I wanted to go see what he thought.
Yeah, go with Kenny, and obviously if you don't go, then you don't have his input, which is what you wanted. I didn't get that, so it was more of a, okay, I'm going to be...
But I think your decision was better in the long run.
In the long run, I would say probably because more people survived, but then again...
More people could have survived if I went with Kenny, but I told him to take the shot again.
Here's another reason why I stayed, is because I didn't know if I would find Kenny. You know what I mean? Because we didn't know, like, we knew Kenny and Luke were out there, but we didn't know Kenny was...
We didn't know where they were.
Where he was. So
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
That's kind of my decision on that one, was I was just like, hey, I don't know. I'm going to stick with the group because I have a better chance of just staying with the group then and not getting split up. But then again, I can see directly why you went with Kenny too, because Kenny's pretty much your only long-term friend there at the time.
Right. Yep.
So there we go. We covered episode 2,
1 and 2
of The Walking Dead season 2, and it feels like in a way we're already halfway through the game, even though we're not. We're only about a quarter of the way through it at this point. And it's kind of crazy to think about that.
A third almost.
So overall, for the first 2 episodes, what's your overall thought process on...
Wait, you're talking about for completing season 2?
Yeah.
No, we are half the way through the game.
Oh yeah, we're at episode 3. What am I thinking? Yeah, we're halfway through. So at the halfway point, what's your opinion on season 1 versus season 2 at the halfway point? What are you thinking about that?
Oh, this was actually a thing that I was gonna address into the thing, but yeah, we can do it.
Go ahead.
Like this. Yeah. So I think I'm trying to remember what, like, because season 1 was so long ago. I can't really remember what happened in episode 2. I know episode 1 ended on Marshall's farm, right?
I'm pretty sure it ended on Herschel, right? Herschel's farm.
Yeah.
It ended on Herschel's farm, and then episode 2 was the little drive-in gas station area. Remember that? Or not the the inn. It was the inn, right? I think. Oh no, no, it wasn't. It was
drugstore.
It was the drugstore. Yeah, it was the drugstore area. So that was the main points of season 1.
And episode 3 started with the dairy farm. Okay.
Yes, so
right?
episode 3 started with the dairy farm and cutting off that guy's leg that was in the friggin' bear trap.
Oh, yeah.
So between this first season, or first episode and second episode, and then season 1's episode 1 and 2, what are you thinking? Any certain thoughts you want to throw in?
I think season 2 up until episode 3 had a lot more action and like intensity, and it depended a lot more on your choices in this season rather than season 1, where your choices mattered a little bit, but they weren't as dependent.
Right. I was gonna say it felt so much more. I felt so much more energy in season 2.
Yeah.
Where it was like high stakes, high reward, high risk, and I didn't know what was going on. But I completely agree that it felt a lot more actiony. So yeah, I think in terms of, storytelling, I think season 1 was a good, father-daughter type of growing up experience.
Yeah.
Season 2 seems to be like the daughter's growing up on her own, and there's a lot more to, like growing up in the steps, learning how to live on your own. And yeah, so that's pretty much episode 2 and in its entirety right there. And next up is
episode 3,
Carver's warehouse.
I think episode 3 is it's the middle of the season, and I think that's where things start to get like spicy.
Yeah, it's really good. So make sure you don't miss out on episode 3 of our podcast. We're going to be doing that relatively soon. I unfortunately can't do any more tonight. I know we're just doing these back to back. But I have a couple work stuff to do. But I want to say thanks everyone for joining in for episode 2 of the Walking Dead season 2 podcast. It's been a blast so far. We're kind of reconciling over what's going on. Really interesting, kind of just figuring things out and learning each other's experiences and whatnot. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. So with that being said, hope you guys are enjoying it even more than we are. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
And then you are good to go ahead and give yours.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really, really hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Turn on the notification bell so you do not miss episode 3, because it is going to be a great one. I promise you that. Episode 3 is honestly where things started to get like really, really like enjoyable. I mean, the whole thing was all great.
Crazy.
But I think episode 3 is like where it all started to get, you know what I mean, right?
Started to melt down a little bit.
Yeah. And we started to learn a lot more of the story and where things were headed. So, yeah, that is going to wrap it up for episode 2 of the podcast. I really hope you all enjoyed. With that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.